Alright, what's up, guys? I usually don't post a video so soon after the post game, but I think this one calls for it because the writing has become very clear on the wall pretty early after that game. This is actually already a couple hours old. I didn't want to post another video right after the initial upload, but not too long after that video went up, we got this from Rappaport. It's probably the worst news imaginable here. It's not surprising given what happened, given what we all saw, but it's still sad. Seahawks running back Rashaad Penny suffered a fractured tibia, sources say, and he'll have tests tomorrow to determine associated damage to see if surgery is necessary. As of now, it's likely. And as Field Goals says, replying to the tweet, that's a season ender. So Rashaad Penny is out for the season with a fractured tibia. That is the only reasonable and logical assumption that anybody can make at this point. If he does play again this year, it is a miracle. And it's so unlikely at this point, I think it would be wise for us as Seahawks fans to just move forward assuming that Rashaad Penny's not going to play again this year, just as he was starting to find his groove, just as he was starting to put together some nice games. He had one of the best games of his career last week, and he was off to a really good start this year, and then, yeah. So that probably does it for Rashaad Penny, the Seahawk. It might even do it for him as an NFL player because his career has been so marred with injuries. When he's been healthy, he's been very productive, so maybe something happens to where he can stay in this league. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him. Somebody's going to keep him around. But odds are pretty good that with his contract expiring at the end of this season, you just saw the end of Rashaad Penny as a Seahawk at the very least. So that's obviously tragic because Penny was playing well in recent times, especially, and looked like he had become the workhorse running back that we envisioned when we drafted him. But at the end of the day, his career will always be kind of a what if here in Seattle. What if he didn't tear his ACL back in 2019? What if that didn't basically take two full seasons away from him? And now what if this? It's unfortunate too because for the short term of the Seahawks, he was going to be an important part of the team this year. He was definitely somebody we were going to look to have probably around 1,400, 1,500 yards. And that's certainly not going to happen now. And he was a big part of our plans on offense. And I understand this year's a little bit of a throwaway anyway. We're probably not making the playoffs regardless. But he was a big part of what we were trying to do this year. His presence was going to be very useful to Geno Smith as he continues to build on this surprising career renaissance. And that's over. And it's also unfortunate for him just as a person because I believe that he was headed towards a significant contract in the offseason. I believe Rashaad Penny was headed towards a significant deal from somebody. I don't know who, but somebody would have looked at him and gone, he's been very productive whenever he's been healthy. We can, if he had a healthy season this year, if he actually had a full season where he was producing and averaging over 5 yards a carry and doing the things that we saw him do in the second half of the season last year. If he was doing those things, then somebody would have given him big money. So that's not going to happen now. It's unfortunate for him. It's just unfortunate because he's a great player, and now he'll probably never be able to get back to this point. It's going to be a very, very uphill battle for him to get back to this, to where he's a starting top-end running back in the NFL. And long-term, it also sucks for the Seahawks because I think there was the possibility that Penny could be put on the trade block in the coming weeks if he continued to play well. And if nothing else, you were looking at a compensation pick when he got signed to a big deal at the end of the year. So on every level, this is just a big bummer. It's a bummer for him. It's a bummer for the team. It's a bummer for his teammates. Everything is just really, really sad here right now. Penny was a guy who really grew on me over his Seahawks career. When we drafted him, I didn't really think anything of him because I didn't know very much about him. I wasn't a huge fan of the pick, but as I started to watch him play, I started to get it. And it took a while for him to actually see the field. It took a while for him to actually start being productive. But once that happened, there was definitely something very appealing about his game, something that I really liked. And he over time became one, not, I wouldn't say my favorite player or anything like that, but a player that I really liked and appreciated. And I got it. And I got his game. And it's over now. So the good news is we do have Ken Walker, who busted off a big run today and had probably definitely the best game of his career. But I'm not looking to run the tread off this tire yet. I don't want to have Ken Walker touching the ball 30 plus times a game. I don't want him to be the featured running back at all times. We still don't know how good he is as a third down back. We don't know how good he can block. We got to be careful with that. So Travis Homer's probably not going to be back for like a month, I don't think. Based off what Carroll said, I'm not getting the sense he's going to be back that soon. So you got DJ Dallas, and DJ's done some nice things in the NFL. He's a good blocker too, so DJ Dallas, fine. But I think you got to bring in somebody for a little bit. Maybe you go get Josh Johnson back. I know you had an injury settlement with him of some kind. Maybe you can go put him back on the roster for a few games. He's somebody who I've expressed interest in before, and he's just never really gotten his chance. So if you want to go get him and have him be active for a few games, sure. But I think you need somebody, and you need somebody who you're willing to play at least some. I don't want a two-man show in the backfield. Maybe Nick Bellore can play a little bit at back. He's obviously played fullback before in the NFL. That's literally his position. But I don't know if you look at him as somebody who can carry the ball more than once a month. So, yeah, we got to do something here. Bring in somebody who can actually carry the rock a little bit, even if it's just 3 or 4 times a game. Even if it's just that little bit, and competently play out of the backfield on passing plays. Just I don't want to lean too heavily on Ken Walker because he's a big part of the future now, and I don't want to wear him out his rookie year. We don't need to be doing that. Obviously, his workload goes up now. There's no doubt. Like, you definitely have to use him more than you were originally planning to. But don't overdo it here just because you're excited with him and he's your new toy and he did some good stuff again in this Saints game. Keep it low. Keep it low. Bring in somebody else. Get that Cerebrus running back situation going. And this one just is a bummer. Okay, losing this game to the Saints, a lot of people feel all kinds of different ways about it, right? Some people are upset, but some people are also like, who cares? This season's a throwaway anyway. Who cares? We want draft picks anyway. I understand that. And yeah, I agree with that. Like, the losing games right now is not the end of the world. But this just sucks all around. It's really unfortunate. All right, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to stream probably during the second half of the Sunday Night Football game. And we'll go over this and talk about the game, talk about this injury. But yeah, Rashaad Penny out for the year. Gonna probably have to go get somebody and figure out who can pick up the slack. See you guys later.